Yes.
Mr. Shaughnessy already spoke to it, but I am concerned of how rapidly growth is going on in the city, and parking, traffic control, and whatever else. I mean, we've had an awful lot of new apartment buildings in the city, and that's a concern of mine, of how we're going to manage that kind of activity, and definitely driving at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on some of our streets is pretty difficult.
Can everyone hear? Did everyone hear? So your main concerns are development and transportation, and how do we manage that in the city?
Yes.
Would you like each candidate to answer?
I would like each, I know Mr. Shaughnessy mentioned it as he spoke, okay. So the other two candidates as well.
We'll start.
Oh, sure. Well, you know, with the development, there's a lot of benefits as well. And, you know, we have to weigh things when you're on the city council. You have to have an open mind, and you don't rush into judgments. It's, again, a lot of the development had votes that were unanimous. And, you know, some of them weren't so unanimous, and there was back and forth. But I'm just going to speak to North Quincy's project. North Quincy's project will start now. I heard a lot of negativity about it, but that project is going to start, and it's going to start with a parking lot that's going to go from 862 parking spaces to over 1,600 parking spaces, and there's a timeline on it. For every parking space that is being taken up during the construction of the parking lot, the developer is actually going to have to pay money for those spots. So there's an initiative to get it in, get it done, get it built, and then we'll have, while Wollaston is going under construction, those folks will have an extra 800 spots for those. That's just one point as far as North Quincy's issue. That will also help the commuters who take the MBTA. The MBTA is broke, and they need the money. They need trains, they need infrastructure fixed, and without the money that's being brought from that development, that I can speak of because that's in our ward, and that's what I wanted to concentrate in Ward 6. Plus, that development changes the face of the people in North Quincy. It allows them, their property value, to improve as well. I wasn't going to, like I said earlier, all three, there's three parts of the ward. Why should we deprive them of the opportunity of making their neighborhood better too? And when that project is done, that neighborhood is going to be a better place. Thank you.
What's your name?
Jane Nelson.
Jane. Jane, you're not alone in your thoughts. As I'm out knocking on the doors, trying to get votes and introduce myself to the different people in the neighborhood for voting, they talk traffic. This is almost the order that it's in. It's traffic, taxes, what's going to happen with all the development. This community is going from being a one-bedroom style home community, or one single-family home, to being a multi-family type home. I mean, 4,000 plus apartments in Quincy over the past 3 years. There's a lot of development going on. And the crazy thing about the development that's going on, besides the traffic, is that not one of those developers has been held accountable to. How about if we have something there for the residents of Quincy? When you build in Boston, the city of Boston, and they sit down, the developer in the city of Boston, they look across the table at them, you know they say to them, you have to provide 50% work opportunities to Boston residents when you build your property. Now that's a very difficult thing to do. No one can probably make 50%, but it makes them aware that they have to do something to help the residents so they can work. Here in Quincy, we have tradespeople, qualified tradespeople, that pay taxes in the city of Quincy, and they're driving past the developments, looking at the cars in the parking lot as they do the development, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and they're on their way to Somerville and Cambridge and Boston to work instead of working in their own community. And the traffic is going to become, you think it's bad now? This is nothing. The garage that Billy's talking about, it's going to happen. But it's going to happen when it takes up half of the parking lot that's there now. At the same time, the Walston station is being closed down. I've offered some answers to this. Open up the parking out of the Squantum Point Park. Have a free shuttle out there for the MBTA to pick up the people for free, to give them the incentive to park out there. Walston Station, offer free parking there. Again, let them go out on the shuttle down to North, free. I know we only have like 10 seconds to go, I'm sorry. So you're not alone in that. Traffic is seriously one of the biggest issues for sure. Taxes and traffic. And I know this, when a developer comes over the bridge into Quincy, if I'm city councilor, he isn't going to say, oh, that's a great idea. He's going to come over the bridge and say, oh, Shaughnessy's here. We're going to have an issue here.
Development's good, but responsible development is better. Development improves the tax base, it provides new housing, it provides jobs. The problem is it also provides congestion. And responsible development isn't having all this massive development with 3 out of our 4 T stations operating at less than capacity. All it does is add more cars to the road. Anybody who's gone over to the Ponce Bridge in the morning, it's a nightmare. It's probably one of the last things you want to do. What we need is a comprehensive intermodal transportation plan for the city, tying in ferry service with a bus service to the North Quincy T station. So that if there's not one solution, it takes a few solutions. Taking the traffic signals, using modern technology, making smart signals so they are linked together and they can adjust the timing on the signals depending on the traffic flow. The most important thing is, everybody wants to stay in the city. They want a place to raise their families. When they get older, they want to stay here. They want their kids to live with them. And if we're not responsible in our growth, we could price everybody out of the city. Traffic, there's not one solution. It's going to take a number of issues. How am I doing on time? And yes, the developers, they need to contribute to the city. They're coming into the city and profiting from the city. They should also bear the burdens of the congestion that they create. So as an advocate for Ward 6, I have 30 seconds. I will be a strong advocate for responsible development, which includes helping the traffic in the city. Thank you.